coin hunters find out in this deep journey into the story of the rare 1971 Eisenhower dollar, where we uncover the hidden stories and secret values behind rare American coins. Today, we take you on a powerful journey through the history of the 1971 $1 coin, also known as the Eisenhower dollar. This is not just another coin. This is a symbol of a new era in American numismatics, and it stands at the beginning of one of the most important chapters in coin collecting history. The 1971 Eisenhower dollar was the first $1 coin issued by the United States Mint since the end of the Peace Dollar series in 1935. For 36 years, there was no circulating dollar coin. Then came this bold new creation born out of tribute and technology issued to honor General Dwight D. Eisenhower, the 34th President of the United States and the Supreme Commander of the Allied Forces during World War II. The coin also commemorated the Apollo 11 moon landing, making it the only U.S. coin to simultaneously honor a military leader and a major event in space exploration. This coin was not struck in silver for general circulation. Instead, it was made from a copper-nickel-clad composition, while a limited number of special collector versions were minted in 40% silver from San Francisco, known as the blue and brown Ikes, depending on their packaging. The regular circulation coins came out of Philadelphia and Denver mints. The Philadelphia version bears no mint mark, while the Denver version carries a small D mark beneath Eisenhower's neck on the obverse side. Let us go back in time to the year 1969, when Dwight D. Eisenhower passed away shortly after America successfully landed the first man on the moon. The United States Congress wanted to commemorate both these historic events, and so legislation was introduced to authorize a new $1 coin. The debates in Congress were long and passionate. Some wanted a silver dollar, others wanted to move away from silver altogether, with silver prices rising. The U.S. Mint needed a practical solution, and the final decision was to strike circulating coins in copper-nickel clad and create collector issues in limited silver. The design of the Eisenhower dollar was entrusted to Frank Gasparo, who was then chief engraver of the United States Mint. Gasparo had the difficult task of capturing the heroic and presidential essence of Eisenhower and merging that with a bold reverse image that symbolized America's dominance in space. The obverse featured a strong side profile of President Eisenhower with the word "Liberty" above and the date 1971 below, and the national motto, "In God We Trust." The reverse is where the coin makes history with a unique design inspired by the Apollo 11 mission patch. It shows a bald eagle landing on the moon, clutching an olive branch in its talons, with the Earth visible above this symbol. Not only reflected peace, but also America's presence on the moon and its role in shaping the modern world in both war and exploration. It was the first and only time the moon was prominently featured on a large circulating coin. Collectors quickly embraced the coin, but it also sparked criticism due to its large size and weight. The Eisenhower dollar was the largest circulating coin since the end of the silver dollar era, and because of its bulkiness, it saw limited use in daily commerce. Many were kept in drawers, piggy banks, or never spent at all. This low circulation usage ironically helped preserve many coins in high grade, and today pristine examples of the 1971 Ike dollar in MS-65 or higher are highly collectible. Let us now look into the different varieties of the 1971 Eisenhower dollar. The most commonly known are the Philadelphia No Mint mark and the Denver D Mint mark, but the collector world was shaken when specialists discovered two major varieties of the 1971 D Eisenhower dollar. These are now known as Type 1 and Type 2 reverse varieties, with differences in the details of the Earth and the islands around Florida and the Caribbean. The Type 1 reverse has more pronounced and blocky islands, while Type 2 features delicate, smaller outlines. These subtle changes have created significant interest among collectors. Another interesting aspect of the 1971 dollar is the special collector issues. The U.S. Mint released proof and uncirculated versions in silver clad. These were struck at the San Francisco Mint and targeted toward the numismatic community. The brown Ike came in a hard plastic case with a brown box, while the blue Ike came In a soft plastic package with a blue envelope, these were not meant for circulation and thus are often found in pristine condition today. Although not composed of 90% silver, their limited mintage and unique packaging make them highly desirable. Moving on to mintage numbers, the 1971 dollar saw large production totals, with the Philadelphia Mint producing over 106 million coins. The Denver Mint struck over 68 million coins, and the San Francisco Mint produced a combined total of nearly 7 million silver collector coins. However, while these numbers may seem high, survival rates in mint state are much lower, and values increase dramatically with condition rarity and the presence of unique varieties. Now let us dive into the coin's historical importance in the numismatic world. The 1971 Eisenhower dollar was the first circulating dollar coin in clad metal. It was the first dollar coin in the modern era, and it set the stage for all future large dollar coins, including the Susan B. Anthony dollar, the Sacagawea dollar, and the presidential dollar series without the Eisenhower dollar. The pathway to these modern coin series may have never formed. The 1971 Eisenhower dollar bridged the gap between the silver past and the practical modern era. In recent years, the demand for Eisenhower dollars has grown, especially among younger collectors who are discovering this large, bold coin for the first time. Online platforms, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, have brought renewed attention to this once overlooked series, and collectors are now beginning to realize the hidden value in early Ike dollars like the 1971 issues. Some even speculate that as silver prices continue to fluctuate and vintage coin collecting gains popularity, the 1971 Eisenhower dollar will become even more valuable as a historical investment, especially the silver issues and the low population high-grade pieces. We must also consider the educational importance of the coin. It teaches history, it shows artistry, it bridges American politics, war space, science, and economy, all in one disc of metal, and that's what makes it special more than a coin. The 1971 dollar is a symbol of American strength, leadership, and progress. To conclude, the journey of the 1971 Eisenhower dollar is not over. It continues to captivate collectors across the globe. It stands as a milestone in United States coinage. It honors a 5-star general and president. It celebrates mankind's greatest leap to the moon. It introduces a new coin material and format, and it sparks the passions of collectors new and old. This is why the 1971 Eisenhower dollar is not just worth its face value. It's worth the memory, the story, and the legacy it holds in the palm of your hand. This coin speaks without words, it holds history without pages, and it brings us all a little closer to the golden age of American greatness. Stay with us as we explore each version of the coin, each variety, each mint, and each collector tip that can help you identify the most valuable ones and build your own treasure from the past right here on the Rare American Coins channel. This is the legendary 1976 bicentennial $1 coin, and what lies behind its design, production, circulation, and numismatic journey will leave you stunned. This isn't just about money, it's about history struck in metal, a piece of American spirit you can hold in your hand, and today we'll uncover it all from the roots to the rarest versions, every minting twist, and the treasure hunters who dedicate their lives to finding the most perfect 1976 dollar ever made. The 1976 $1 coin holds a unique and powerful place in American numismatic history. It was created during a time of great celebration and national reflection, when the United States of America marked its 200th anniversary of independence. With a spirit of unity, pride, and remembrance, the U.S. Mint wanted to produce something that would represent this milestone, not just on paper or in speeches, but in physical metal, something that every American could see, touch, and carry. The result was the 1976 bicentennial coinage, a special series of quarters, half dollars, and $1 coins that featured brand new reverse designs celebrating the country's birth and journey. The $1 coin chosen for this honor was the Eisenhower dollar, named after President Dwight D. Eisenhower, who had passed away only a few years before and whose image first appeared on the dollar. In 1971, the decision to redesign the reverse of the Eisenhower dollar for 1976 was symbolic. It connected the military leader, turned president, with the celebration of freedom and democracy that America was preparing to commemorate. This new reverse featured the Liberty Bell superimposed over the moon, symbolizing both American independence and the country's achievements in space exploration, including the moon landing of 1969, which had occurred just a few years before the design was created by Dennis R. Williams, a 22-year-old student whose work was chosen from a nationwide design competition. His art would go on to be seen by millions and held in hands across the nation and even across the globe. Now, the story of the 1976 $1 coin begins far earlier than its official release. It begins with planning from the U.S. Mint and the Treasury Department. In the early 1970s, they needed to coordinate the massive production and redesign efforts for three major coins: the quarter, the half-dollar, and the dollar. And unlike normal coin production, this series would carry a dual date rather than simply the year of minting. Every coin would read 1776 to 1976 to mark the bicentennial. The Mint also planned to strike these coins in both copper-nickel-clad compositions for circulation and special silver-clad versions for collectors. The silver versions would be struck at the San Francisco Mint and offered in proof and uncirculated sets that would become highly desirable among collectors for their beautiful finishes and low mintage numbers. As production began, one of the key concerns was striking quality. The large size of the Eisenhower dollar made it difficult to produce without flattening some of the design elements, especially on coins meant for circulation. The high relief of the Liberty Bell and the moon was challenging to achieve with clarity, and so many coins from this era show weakness in those areas. Collectors would later come to judge these coins not just by date and mint mark, but by the sharpness of strike, the luster of the surface, and the presence or absence of certain die varieties and mint errors. These mint marks themselves tell part of the story. The 1976 $1 coins were struck at three mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins with no mint mark were struck in Philadelphia, and those with a D or S represent Denver and San Francisco, respectively. The San Francisco Mint was also responsible for producing the silver-clad versions, which are distinguishable by their bright white surfaces, heavier weight, and unique metallic composition of 40% silver and 60% copper. These coins were never intended for circulation and were sold directly to collectors in special packaging, but some of them have made their way into the public over the years, leading to confusion and excitement when found in circulation. And then there are the rare and unusual variations that elevate the 1976 Eisenhower dollar to legend among collectors. Some coins feature double dies, where the design was stamped twice, creating a noticeable shadow effect around the letters and numbers. Some have off-center strikes, broad strikes, or other minting errors that make them unique. One specific variety that stands out is the Type 1 and Type 2 reverse designs, although both feature the same Liberty Bell over the moon layout. Type 1 coins struck early in production show a bolder, more blocky font with less detail in the earth behind the moon, while Type 2 coins struck later feature a finer, thinner font and more detailed background collectors. Consider Type 2 to be the more desirable of the two, especially in proof and silver examples. Over the decades since its release, the 1976 Eisenhower dollar has continued to grow in appreciation among coin collectors and historians alike. While the coin never achieved great popularity in circulation due to its large size and weight, it has become a staple of American numismatics due to its historical context, symbolic design, and the passion it inspires in those who study its origins today. Finding a pristine example, especially in silver or in high-grade proof condition, can bring considerable value and pride to collectors, with certain versions reaching high prices at auction and in private sales, depending on condition, rarity, and provenance. The coin also played a unique role in American culture during the 1970s, being distributed through banks' post offices, and even as part of government educational kits, it was promoted as a patriotic keepsake. A token of American progress and unity, and its presence in homes across the country served as a reminder of the nation's enduring story, from revolution to modern republic. The Eisenhower dollar was the last large-size dollar ever produced for general use, and by 1979 it was replaced by the much smaller Susan B. Anthony dollar, making the 1976 issue the last grand coin of its kind. Even today, the hunt continues. Collectors search coin rolls, estate sales, and old family albums, hoping to discover a forgotten gem, a silver treasure, or a rare error that could rewrite their collection's story and connect them directly to a moment when America paused to celebrate 200 years of freedom, honor, and change. The 1976 $1 coin remains more than a piece of money. It is a metal canvas carrying symbols of liberty, space, achievement, presidential legacy, and the dreams of a young nation entering its third century, and for those who appreciate its full story, every detail, every edge, every shine, and every flaw tells a piece of history worth holding on to, as the Eisenhower dollar represents not just a piece of currency, but a symbol of a transitional era in United States minting history. This coin, minted to honor President Dwight D. Eisenhower after his passing in 1969, carries with it stories of a nation recovering from turbulent times. The Eisenhower dollar was the first coin issued by the United States Mint since the Peace Dollar series ended in 1935. This revival came during a period marked by the space race technological advancements and a renewed sense of national pride. Dwight D. Eisenhower himself being the supreme commander of the Allied forces in Europe during World War II and the 34th President of the United States, embodies leadership strength and unity. The obverse of the coin features the left-facing bust of Eisenhower designed by Frank Gasparo, who was the chief engraver of the United States Mint. At that time, his initials FG can be seen on the truncation of Eisenhower's neck, which is a detail that numismatists often look for. The inscriptions include "Liberty above the head," "In God we trust" on the left, and the date, 1972. Below the portrait for many collectors, the Eisenhower dollar also represents a fascinating journey through various mint marks and striking qualities the coin was produced. In 3 different mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, with no mint mark D and S. Respectively, the Philadelphia issues bear no mint mark and were minted in clad composition intended mainly for circulation. The Denver Mint produced similar circulation strikes with the D mint mark, while the San Francisco Mint produced both circulation strikes and special collector editions in a 40% silver composition known as the blue and brown Ikes, depending on the packaging. These collector versions have become highly sought after, not only for their silver content, but for their historical value. The reverse of the coin features an adaptation of the Apollo 11 mission insignia commemorating America's monumental achievement of landing a man on the moon in 1969. This was the first time a coin depicted an image directly related to the space program. The design shows an eagle landing on the moon clutching an olive branch with the Earth visible in the distance. This imagery ties Eisenhower, the president who championed the early days of NASA, to the success of the Apollo missions. The inscription, "United States of America," arcs across the top, with E pluribus unum above the eagle and $1 at the bottom. For numismatists, the 1972 Eisenhower dollar offers a complex field of varieties and errors that can make the difference between a common coin and a numismatic treasure. The most famous varieties are the 3 types of reverse, designs known as Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3. These types relate specifically to the Philadelphia minted coins and are distinguished by subtle differences in the Earth's islands and coastlines behind the eagle. The Type 2 reverse is considered the rarest of the 3 due to a die variety that features a less defined depiction of Florida and the Caribbean. This error was corrected mid-year, making surviving specimens valuable to collectors. The distribution of these coins is another intriguing aspect. The general public initially struggled to accept the large size of the Eisenhower dollar in everyday transactions. Its diameter of 38.1 millimeters and weight of 22.7 grams made it cumbersome compared to the smaller coins people were accustomed to handling. Banks, casinos, and vending machine operators, however, found a use for these coins, especially in the booming gaming industry in Nevada, where slot machines were king. The coin became a staple in Las Vegas casinos for decades, even after it ceased to circulate widely. Elsewhere, it is important to note that the Eisenhower dollar paved the way for subsequent dollar coin experiments in the U.S., including the Susan B. Anthony dollar and the Sacagawea dollar, each of which attempted to address the issue of practicality and public acceptance that the Eisenhower dollar faced. The 1972 $1 coin represents more than its face value. It captures a time when the nation sought to honor a great leader while celebrating its technological triumphs and navigating the practical realities of modern commerce. Today, collectors cherish these coins, not just for their monetary worth, but for the stories they carry. The different mint marks and varieties have created a thriving niche market, with some examples commanding high premiums that auction collectors often seek out. Coins with full strikes, minimal wear, and clear details on both the obverse and reverse proof versions produced at the San Francisco Mint remain among the most beautiful examples of the design, with deeply mirrored fields and frosted devices that showcase the artistry of Frank Gasparo. To truly appreciate the 1972 Eisenhower dollar, one must consider its broader context. It was a coin that connected the past to the future, a tribute to a president who guided the nation through both war and peace, a nod to the triumph of the Apollo program, and a reminder of the challenges that come with changing public habits in currency use. As you hold a 1972 $1 coin, you are holding a piece of American resilience, innovation, and commemoration. It's a coin that may look simple at first glance, but when you dive into its varieties, mintages, and historical significance, it unfolds into a story that can fill books, lectures, and indeed entire video features. The production process at the United States Mint during this era was also evolving. New machinery and quality control measures were implemented to meet the demands of both circulation and collector markets. Mint employees faced the challenge of producing a coin that was both durable enough for heavy use in casinos, yet beautiful enough to satisfy discerning collectors. The coin blanks, or planchets, had to be precisely cut, weighed, and annealed to ensure consistent quality dies were prepared with great care to bring out the best details of Gasparo's design. Yet even with these precautions, striking errors and die wear led to many interesting anomalies. These include double dies off center strikes and die clashes, which are all prized by collectors who specialize in Eisenhower dollars. Many collectors enjoy the hunt for these errors and varieties, attending coin shows, auctions, and online marketplaces to find that elusive piece that completes their set. The legacy of the Eisenhower dollar continues to inspire new generations of numismatists who appreciate not only the coin itself, but the larger story of American culture and progress that it represents. This coin serves as an educational gateway, introducing people to the art, science, and history embedded in our everyday money. When you think about the journey of a 1972 $1 coin from the moment it was struck at the mint to its use in casinos or bank vaults, or tucked away in a collector's album, it becomes clear that this small, round piece of metal has witnessed countless transactions, moments of chance in gaming halls, and the quiet pride of a collector adding it to their collection. Each coin tells a unique story shaped by where it traveled and who held it through the decades. The Eisenhower dollar remains a tangible link to an era of American optimism and ambition, and while it may not circulate widely today, its legacy lives on through the passion of those who preserve and study it. This enduring interest ensures that the story of the 1972 $1 coin will continue to be told for generations to come. expanding our understanding of how money can connect us to the past and inspire us for the future as you explore your own collection or perhaps consider acquiring your first Eisenhower dollar. Remember that you are not just collecting coins, you are safeguarding pieces of American history, each with its own story, waiting to be discovered, shared, and celebrated. American coin, a journey that could change how you see money forever. In the year 1974, the United States was in a time of transition. Politically, economically, and culturally, the nation was still grappling with the aftermath of the Vietnam War. President Richard Nixon had resigned in disgrace due to the Watergate scandal, and the American public was facing inflation and recession. In the midst of all this uncertainty, the U.S. Mint continued its mission of producing coinage for circulation and collectors, and one such coin that emerged in this turbulent year was the 1974 $1 coin, commonly known as the Eisenhower dollar, named in honor of the 34th President of the United States, Dwight D. Eisenhower. This coin carries more than just a monetary value. It carries a story of a changing America and a shift in the world of numismatics. The Eisenhower dollar series began in 1971 and continued until 1978. The coin was introduced to commemorate both President Eisenhower and the Apollo 11 moon landing of 1969. The obverse features a left-facing portrait of Dwight D. Eisenhower, designed by Frank Gasparo, who was the chief engraver of the United States Mint. At the time, the reverse of the coin depicts an eagle landing on the moon with an olive branch in its talons, a tribute to the Apollo 11 mission designed to echo the mission insignia. By 1974, the Eisenhower dollar had already seen circulation for 3 years, but it was still not widely accepted by the public as a convenient coin for everyday use. It was large, heavy, and not easily carried in wallets or coin purses. As a result, its primary circulation was often limited to casinos, particularly in Las Vegas, where the coin became a favorite for slot machines. However, this limited acceptance did not diminish its historical importance. The 1974 Eisenhower dollar was minted at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint produced coins with different characteristics. Philadelphia and Denver struck coins for general circulation, while San Francisco produced proof and uncirculated collector versions. The Philadelphia coins bear no mint mark. The Denver coins are marked with a D, and the San Francisco coins are marked with an S. The 1974 issue was notable for continuing the use of copper nickel-clad composition for circulation coins. While some earlier Eisenhower dollars had been struck in 40% silver for collectors by 1974, the mint was focusing on the more economical copper nickel-clad planchets, which were composed of an outer layer of copper nickel bonded to a core of pure copper. Among collectors, the 1974 Eisenhower dollar is of particular interest due to several factors, including mintage numbers, production quality, strike characteristics, and varieties. One notable variety is the presence of strong versus weak strikes in coins produced at the Philadelphia Mint. Some 1974 Eisenhower dollars from Philadelphia were weakly struck, which resulted in less detail in Eisenhower's hair and facial features. These weak strikes can be less desirable to collectors unless they are preserved in uncirculated condition or have other redeeming qualities such as a rare die variety or mint error. Errors in 1974 Eisenhower dollars include off-center strikes, double dies, die cracks, and clipped planchets. These mint errors are always of interest to collectors because they represent anomalies in the minting process and can increase the value of a coin significantly depending on severity and rarity. One of the most intriguing aspects of the 1974 Eisenhower dollar lies in its historical and cultural context. America in the early 1970s was a nation searching for identity, post-war politically destabilized and economically troubled, yet still aiming for space exploration and technological advancement. The Eisenhower dollar as a large, bold coin represented strength and legacy, but the public largely rejected its size and weight as impractical. This contrast between symbolic significance and everyday utility is one of the key factors in understanding why the Eisenhower dollar never truly caught on in mainstream use, despite being backed by a rich narrative. Numismatically, the 1974 Eisenhower dollar has moderate rarity in circulated condition, but becomes significantly more valuable in high mint state grades, especially MS-66, and above, finding a Philadelphia minted 1974 dollar in MS-66 can be challenging and thus commands a premium price due to the mint's relatively lower production quality at that time. Similarly, the San Francisco minted proof coins are collectible, especially if they exhibit deep cameo contrast and flawless surfaces. The Eisenhower dollar series also holds a special place in the transition between silver and base metal coinage. The move to copper-nickel clad marked a permanent shift in American coin production, reflecting the economic constraints of the era and signaling the end of silver as a standard material in circulating U.S. coins. The influence of Eisenhower himself should not be overlooked. He was a five-star general, a World War II hero, and a president who presided over a period of immense growth and global positioning for the United States. His presence on the dollar coin symbolizes strength, integrity, and leadership, and aligns the coin with a powerful image that collectors appreciate and honor. In numismatic circles, the Eisenhower dollar was once considered an underappreciated series, but that has changed in recent decades with renewed interest in 70s-era coinage and historical commemoratives. Collectors have come to see the Eisenhower dollar as a bridge between the old silver dollars and the modern small dollar coins, like the Susan B. Anthony, the Sacagawea, and the Presidential Dollar series. This rising appreciation has made 1974 Eisenhower dollars a subject of study for their design production history, and collecting potential professional grading services now certify thousands of these coins every year, and registry sets compete for the highest grades, making pristine examples more valuable than ever for coin roll hunters and casual collectors alike. The 1974 Eisenhower dollar presents an exciting opportunity. While many circulated examples may have modest value, the thrill of discovering a rare high-grade coin or a dramatic mint error keeps the interest alive and ensures the continued fascination with this bold and historic piece of American coinage. Today, the 1974 Eisenhower dollar continues to be a favorite among those who appreciate American history, military legacy, space exploration, and presidential commemoration. It represents an era of ambition, resilience, and transition, and while it may not be found in every pocket or wallet, its story endures through the hands of collectors, historians, and those who seek to preserve the legacy of American currency. From design to mintage, from rejection to rediscovery, the journey of the 1974 $1 coin is a lesson in how coins reflect not just economic exchange, but cultural memory, symbolism, and national pride. It is more than metal. It is a monument in miniature. And as we explore further, you will hear rare interviews, expert commentary, and true collector stories that shed light on how $1 from 1974 became a treasured piece of numismatic heritage. Stay tuned, because this journey has only just begun.